which is coming in. Harish Nair, our legal editor, is telling us about the contentions which are being made by Kapil Sibal, who's representing the Waqf board, in which he says we do not have any problem allowing other functions, but allowing another religion to do something there, your lordship knows the consequences. Neelashish is there with us. Neelashish, this is the first time that they've openly said it, that the problem is not with any other use of the land, but it is the religion, the fact that this is a Hindu festival. That's their sole objection.
Well, yes, absolutely. That is what Senior Advocate Kapil Sibal, representing the Waqf board, is saying. In fact, in response to the bench's question that Republic Day, Independence Day are celebrated on the land, when you say you are the owners, then why are you allowing these functions? Kapil Sibal has said we are okay with Republic Day celebrations, but not that of other religious organizations. He's also saying that his contention thereafter is what was the need for the division bench of the High Court to change its decision the day after ordering status quo. So his argument is based twofold here, saying that the High Court initially had issued status quo as far as this case is concerned, but on the next day, looking at urgency, they said that the celebrations can go ahead as per the understanding and wisdom of the government, of the state government. But at this point, Kapil Sibal going on to respond to the question saying of the bench, saying that possession was established, the burial ground is established, the use is established. The municipal corporation had not challenged any of this till 2022, and this is something to do with elections that are up in the state next year. So the grounds on which Kapil Sibal is arguing is that this is motivated by the state as far as elections are concerned. But he does say that we do not have any problem allowing other functions, but allowing another religion to do something there is something which he says you know the consequences for. Yesterday also Kapil Sibal, when he mentioned this matter, said that if the order of the High Court is allowed, then it will open it up for all religious ceremonies to take place at the Maidan in question, and that would be something that will create communal tension. That is the contention coming in from the Waqf board at this point. And as we speak, to seek injunction, Senior Advocate Dushyant Dave has started arguing before the Supreme Court as well at this point. He is saying on behalf of the other petitioner, the Chamarajpet Muslim Association, that there are issues which need consideration, and a lot is at stake as far as admission stage is concerned, which and he invokes Articles 25 and 26, which are that of freedom of religion in this case. So of course the bench is discussing the matter. The issues that have been put forth by Kapil Sibal, again as we said, are twofold. One, that it will create communal tensions because they own the property. They are okay to have ceremonies or functions that are of national importance, as they say, but they will not allow other religious ceremonies to take place on that Maidan.
All right, Madhav, now the land ownership tussle between the civic body and the Waqf board is far from over. That's the real truth. Though the BBMP has declared that this land belongs to the Revenue Department, but no conclusions yet so far on, who really does this land belong to. Despite all of that, the fact that the Karnataka High Court, gave a nod and rather permitted the government to come out with an order on the same permitting for Ganesh Chaturthi festivals. We've seen a similar incident come to light in Hubballi as well. So this controversy is only exploding in several other parts of Karnataka now.
Well, absolutely. And in fact, notwithstanding what the High Court has already ruled in this entire matter, the petitioners are referring to a matter of 1962 and 64, where they claim that the issue of ownership and possession of that land has been settled, because they have said that these orders have very clearly, in a 1964 judgment, have in fact gone ahead and settled the question, and possession was given in favor of the Waqf board. This is the claim that is being made, not just by the arguments that are taking place inside the court, but also the written petition that has been submitted as far as the apex court is concerned. Kapil Sibal very importantly coming out to say that we don't have any problems allowing other functions, but allowing another religion to do something here, your lordship knows the consequences. So that's the statement coming in thus far from the petitioner side. What will the courts really have to do as far as or what they have to say as far as the entire matter is concerned after hearing all the sides remains to be seen, because this is going to be very crucial given that tomorrow is when Ganesh Chaturthi begins, and that's going to be a very, very important thing to watch out for as to whether the demands of various sides. Hindu groups have been demanding that they be allowed to use this particular land for conduct of Ganesh Chaturthi functions, but clearly the petitioners in this particular case say that that would disturb the communal harmony, because this is a land that they believe is close to the hearts of Muslims, and therefore they would not want to allow other religions on ground over there. Kapil Sibal saying that we all know what the consequences will be if other religions are allowed on that particular land to hold their functions. What is the view that is going to be taken by the court is what we have to watch out for.
Absolutely. Kapil Sibal has said that we do not have any problem allowing any other functions, but allowing any other religion to do something, there is the problem. And once again, speaking of the consequences that this kind of a practice could have in the coming future. Now, Madhav, that in itself is extremely problematic. Kapil Sibal has already put out that argument earlier as well in front of the Karnataka High Court. But the fact remains that this is the very property, this is the very land wherein we've seen, the Republic Day function, the Independence Day function, those events being held. So that's essentially the argument that the other side is likely to put out. Then why have a problem with, let's say, a Ganesh Chaturthi, which is only going to be celebrated for a limited amount of time?
There's no unrestricted access that has been given to the Waqf board is what the other side is going to say, because the 15th August and 26th January, we know how functions are allowed to take place. And therefore, given that the other days of the year it is used as a playground, in such view, of course, whether it should not be used by the Hindu side also is going to be a contention coming from the BJP side. But they've also cited the fact that this is Revenue Department land according to them, and not land that the Waqf board has possession of. Now we are seeing senior advocate Dushyant Dave speaking on the injunction. He says that this is an issue which needs consideration a lot at admission stage. Article 25 is involved, and religious minorities have full right to manage its own affairs. This is an unwarranted encroachment. The bench says that we are not on that question. Everyone knows the rights of minorities. In fact, Dave then goes on to say that prayers are offered. The court says that they are offered only on 2 days, and Dave then responds saying that it's my property. Courts can't force me. If I allow, well and good. This has been held in the Supreme Court judgment. So the arguments from the petitioner side going on, and they are insisting that yes, this is their land, that they have ownership and possession over, while in fact Dushyant Dave says this is unwarranted encroachment. Kapil Sibal says, the impact of what will happen when in fact other religions are allowed on that land. So the petitioners in fact making their arguments before the courts. At the moment the courts also questioning them, saying that you are allowing on other days events to take place on Independence Day and Republic Day, then how can you claim full possession of the land? To which of course they say it is their choice about whether they allow it or not. In these cases they have so far allowed it, but their hand cannot be forced, and their rights under the constitution exist. Those are the arguments coming in from the petitioner side. So remains to be seen what the arguments will be as far as the government of India is concerned. The Solicitor General also in fact was trying to make an intervention earlier, but he could not of course complete his statement, whether he will have a view on this, and of course what the other view is that the court will eventually take as far as this entire matter is concerned. All of these are going to be things that we have to watch out for.
All right, so senior advocate Dushyant Dave is also now putting forward his set of arguments. Nilashish, now he's gone on to say that the AG says there's a dispute with regards to the title of the property, but you cannot file suit for possession. I have it in my possession for 200 years. Thereafter going on to say that would a Muslim community ever be permitted to celebrate in a Hindu religious ground? So that's the line that is being told by Dushyant Dave as well. But he's also once again said that this is my property. Courts can't force me if I allow, well and good. This has been held in the Supreme Court judgment. Is he once again referring to the 1964 judgment?
Well, yes, Dushyant Dave is referring to a couple of Supreme Court judgments from the past, and he is saying that at the end of the day, the property belongs to me, and if I choose not to allow another religious organization to hold a function, the courts can't intervene. In fact, he's saying that they can't force me at this point to allow any other function to take place. Now, Justice Hemant Gupta is also asking Dushyant Dave whether prayers are only offered on 2 days as far as this Maidan is concerned. Dushyant Dave is saying that, in his opinion, the High Court was mistaken in its view. The view that it took was not correct in terms of the law, and saying that the entire controversy is pending adjudication before a single judge. And I would say that a trust or Waqf has a right to say you cannot enter. So the question has been raised by the Supreme Court, saying, aren't prayers offered only on 2 days in a year? Dushyant Dave says that would a Muslim ever be allowed, would a Muslim community ever be allowed to have their functions in a land belonging to Hindus? Now, that is a very interesting spin that has been taken by Dushyant Dave here as well. But the question here that is being raised is about the prayers that take place at the Maidan, how many times it takes place. The bench is saying that what it is examining is the right of the minorities as far as their property is concerned, or what they claim their property to be is concerned. Dushyant Dave goes on to say, again, as far as his arguments are concerned, is that they have been restrained from entering the land as far as other religious communities are concerned. Dushyant Dave is saying that the Supreme Court previously has restrained them from entering the land, and that is something that has been upheld by the Supreme Court. And referring to that judgment, he says that this continues to be our property. Now, the court, of course, is discussing amongst itself what exactly the situation is as far as the property rights are concerned. Now, the bench is asking Dushyant Dave to stick to his particular arguments after he said, in fact, after he questioned whether a Muslim community would be permitted to celebrate a a festival at a Hindu religious ground. So, Dushyant Dave is praying, in fact, before the bench that the court should protect the Muslim association that is before the court. Let's not forget, there are two petitions that are being heard, one by the Waqf Board of Karnataka, the other by the Muslim association of the area as well. Now, in fact, Kapil Sibal is also interjecting, in fact, on a different tangent, saying what is happening in this country. The police is filing suo moto cases. So, of course, this is a politically charged matter playing out in court as well as we speak. But, of course, the bench is asking the counsels, the two senior advocates, to stick to their particular arguments. Again, to sum up, there are two basic arguments coming in from the petitioners here. One, that it is their property and they can choose what exactly takes place on that property, even if it is a state government function or something like an Independence Day or a Republic Day, because it is their land, their property. They choose what functions to be held. And the other
what's coming to light and coming to fore as per the arguments that are currently underway is, Madhav, that, you know, the Karnataka Waqf Board continues to maintain that they have full rights over this particular land. They're citing the 1964 verdict of the Supreme Court. They say that upheld their claim to the land. The BBMP, remember, all this while has been maintaining that this land belongs to the Revenue Department, and since there is a dispute over the ownership, the land can be given out for any religious or cultural functions. That's the argument that is being